Hey there guys, welcome back to another video. Malik here, and today what we're going to be talking about is the newly announced processors from AMD. Remember AMD's Kabini and Temash APUs that were released last year? It delivered a great price to performance ratio, yet the power was not all that striking. Forget about the somewhat low power components, almost all of the AMD entry level APUs carried 15 watt TDPs and a couple weighing in at 8 to 9 watts. Now by comparison, Intel was shipping full blown Haswell Ultrabook parts at 15 watts. Those processors offered better CPU performance in a quite similar thermal envelope. Honestly, the real disruption was Intel's Bay Trail, which frankly showed up with a similar looking microarchitecture running high clock speeds with TDPs lower than 8 watts. Without a doubt, AMD seems to have the pieces to build a power efficient mobile socket on a chip, but we're just not seeing it right now. This changes everything now though. AMD announced the successors to Kabini and Temash, and their codenames are Beema and Mullins. Beema will be aimed at the entry-level notebooks, while Mullins targets tablets. They will have a 28nm manufacturing process. Both are designed for Windows machines, although we could eventually see AMD address the native Android market head-on. For now, AMD will be relying on running Android on top of Windows for those who really want it. As of right now, there is no word as to whether there will be a desktop equivalent of Beema and Mullins. Okay, so like their opponents, Beema and Mullins combine 4 low-powered AMD x86 Puma Plus cores instead of Jaguar, with 128 graphics core next or GCN-based Radeon GPU cores. As of right now, AMD remains unwilling to release any official die area, but there is a slight bump in transistor count. So from this picture, you can infer that Beema and Mullins have a similar transistor count, which is not far south of Apple's A7 processor. The Puma Plus architecture that is in the Beema and Mullins is based on the same architecture as Jaguar. The memory interface, for example, remains unchanged. As I stated previously, the lithography would be built on the same 28nm process as their opponents. Although the process has seen some improvements, both the CPU and GPU design are slightly better optimized for lower power operation. Both the CPU and GPU benefit from improvements to the manufacturing process, resulting in substantial decrease in leakage. AMD seems to be claiming a 19% reduction in core leakage and static current for Puma Plus compared to Jaguar at 1.2 volts. Also a 38% reduction for the GPU. The drop in power leakage really contributes to a substantially lower profile for Beema and Mullins. They also decided, since they were already in there, AMD tweaked the memory interface up a little bit. They traded flexibility with power. The result shaved more than 500 milliwatts with the more strict low power mode. Beema and Mullins also show a 200 milliwatt reduction in power consumed by the display interface compared to Kabini and Temash. In combination of all of this, a 20% lower power idle compared to the previous generation, AMD drew up a nice graph to show their progress. Beema and Mullins are in a nice place right now, but they still do consume more power idle than the smartphone socket on chips we find on iOS and Android tablets. AMD has dropped power consumption considerably over the years, but it's still not as power efficient as high-end mobile silicone. AMD sees no value in supporting Microsoft's connected standby standard at this point, which makes sense given the limited success of Windows 8 tablets. Once again, this seems to point to AMD eventually adopting Android for its tablet aspirations. AMD looks to have more tricks to unveil soon enough, especially to drive power down. Most interesting could be a voltage regulator next year. Now, if you liked everything we talked about in this video, please let me know by hitting that like button down below. Leave a comment down below if you find any of this interesting, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.